Yo, what's going on, you guys? Today we have iconic British food you need to try before you die. Look, man, I reacted to a similar video before, and some of you guys were saying that they didn't have every option, all the options. So look, man, that's why I'm reacting to this one. Hopefully they have everything. Man, the last video I reacted to, oh man, the sausage rolls. Oh my goodness, that looked so good, dog. That looked so good. So I hope I could go really soon, man, so I could actually go taste that thing. The specific one I think I would like the most is, yeah, it's probably the spicy lamb one, the spicy lamb sausage roll. That looked amazing, man, for real. So I can't wait to actually go and try that. Without further ado, man, we're gonna go straight to this video. We're gonna see if they have all the options there, and yeah, we're gonna see what they got. Come on.
World-class cuisine, but forget what you've heard about it. Truth is, the UK is home to some of the tastiest
And the fish and chips, man, I can't forget about that one. Come on now.
dishes around. These are iconic British foods you need to try before you die. You won't find many dishes simpler than bangers and mash. It consists of a few sausages, or one Cumberland sausage, served with a hefty dollop of mashed potatoes. More often than not, gravy will be involved. And that's pretty much it. Usually, of course, things turn out a little fancier than that. The sausages can be made from lamb or beef rather than the standard pork. The mash can be spruced up with cream or mustard, while a handful of extra side additions might be included too.
Man, that's why I want to go to the UK so bad, you guys. You guys don't understand. I want to go so I could visit, you know, the greenery, so I could visit the castles you guys have, so I can just see all the history you guys have, and man, you guys this food look amazing, man. So I want to go there just to try everything, man. I want to try everything. When I go there, I'm telling you, I'm trying everything. The first time I go, obviously I'm not gonna be able to visit everywhere, but I do want to visit Whitby. I want to go to Whitby. I do want to go to Canterbury, I believe it is. I want to go to, there's some other spots I want to go to. I just have to look at my notes on the exact spots that I want to go to, man, because man, it looks amazing. It looks amazing. It looks amazing. So again, man, I just can't wait, man. I can't wait.
Depending entirely on the preference of the person making it. The first thing to know about the bacon sandwich is that British bacon isn't the same as American bacon.
Okay.
The British variant is leaner and meatier than the US version, since it comes from the loin of the pig rather than the belly. Some would even say the British stuff is tastier too. That's why in the UK, it seems far less crazy to stick a few rashers of bacon between two buttered slices of bread.
Well, that's interesting. Cause yeah, here the bacon is way more lean or thin, but this looks like it has some meat to it, for real.
To stick a few rashers of bacon between two buttered slices of bread, slather it in ketchup or brown sauce, and just go to town on it.
Just like that?
The bacon sandwich, or butty as northerners call it, is the ultimate quick fix.
What y'all think about this?
Bacon sandwich, or butty.
Just bacon, bread, and ketchup? I don't know how I feel about that one, man. I don't know how I feel about that one. I need more. Put some lettuce in there. Put some tomatoes in there. You know, just make a full sandwich. You know, bacon. Put some eggs in there. You know what I mean? Just the ketchup and the bacon not gonna cut it for me, man. Come on.
Northerners call it, is the ultimate quick fix breakfast. Some people like to spruce them up.
Come on now. Come on now. Come on, man. Come on now, that's what I'm talking about.
With fancy breads or fried eggs, but most of the time it's made with nothing more than bacon, bread, and sauce.
What I think makes a really good bacon sandwich is smoky bacon. I love that smokiness and I like it quite crispy.
And that's just the way it should be. The full English is probably the most well-known.
That looks amazing. That looks amazing. I feel like this right, and you guys tell me if I'm wrong. I feel like this right here just kind of show you everything the UK has to offer when it comes to food. You guys are famous for your sausages. You guys are famous for your beans. Yeah, I guess that's it, right? I guess that's it, right? As in, like, cause it's like that's everything you guys. I mean, it goes on the name too, right? Cause when you think about it, you got the sausages, you got the beans, eggs, like the baked tomatoes. I feel like this plate just represent the UK. I don't know if that makes sense or not. Maybe I'm tripping. Hopefully that makes sense. I don't know.
In the UK, although people make slight alterations.
Man, that looks amazing. That just looks amazing right there, bro. Look at
to the dish based on their own preferences. A proper full English should include at least some combination of sausage, bacon, eggs, tomatoes, mushrooms, toast, baked beans, and black pudding. Other regions in the UK have their own variations too. In Scotland, for example, a full breakfast might include haggis or oatcakes, while in Wales you might find it includes cockles or laverbread. Although most British hotels and B&Bs will offer a full English breakfast, the best ones tend to be served in grubby little greasy spoons and should cost no more than a fiver. Don't bother trying anything too fancy with this one. You'll only be disappointed.
Gotcha.
One of the many pies and pastries to be found in British cuisine, beef Wellington, is made up of fillet steak coated with pâté and duxelle, which is a kind of mix of mushrooms, onions, and herbs. This steak is then wrapped in ham and baked in a pastry. Many recipes use pâté de foie gras, but this particular ingredient tends to be a little controversial, to say the least.
Okay.
This is another one of those delectably hearty dishes that you'll most often find served in pubs up and down the UK, though it's not too hard to make at home. If nothing else, it's a great use of any leftovers from a Sunday roast.
Okay.
One of Britain's more notorious foods, black pudding, is a kind of blood sausage made from pork blood, fat, and cereal, which is then spiced with mint, thyme, and pennyroyal. Taste-wise, imagine eating a particularly bready kind of sausage, and you're probably halfway there. Although it's a regional specialty in the West Midlands and northwest of England, black pudding is a staple part of the full English, so you can expect to find it on breakfast.
Oh man, I think I like the full English. I would love to try that, man. It just looks good, especially when you add the hash browns on the sides. I would love to try it, but I would like my eggs scrambled though. I don't like the runny eggs. I don't know if that's only me, but I don't like it.
On the country. It'd be very easy to give the chip buddy a bad rap, but that wouldn't be very fair, because this is by far one of the best comfort foods Britain has to offer.
Okay.
The idea is simple. You heap a load of thick-cut chips, French fries for Americans, onto a slice of buttered bread, throw a little sauce on if you like, stick another slice of bread on top, and then you're good to go.
I'm not gonna take that one, man. Guys, come on. Again, we gotta add more in that, man. We gotta add some sauce. We gotta add some, come on, same thing, lettuce. We gotta add some tomatoes. We gotta add something to that, man. Cause eating it just like that, I don't think that's it, man. That's not it. Not this one.
And found in the north of England, the chip buddy is a mainstay food of the British working class. Depending on where you are in the country, and on what kind of bread you're using, you might hear it referred to as a chip sandwich, chip roll, chip bap, chip cob, chip sarnie, or something else entirely. Doesn't matter what it's called though, it still tastes great. At first glance, chicken tikka masala may seem like an Indian dish, but it's believed by many to have been created.
I seen that. That's the Indian. Yeah, that's the Indian food. Yeah, that's actually amazing. I had that before. Yeah, I actually had this before. Yeah, it's amazing. I had this with a nun, I believe they call it. Bro, amazing.
Immigrants in the United Kingdom, with one account placing its origins in Glasgow. This is disputed, however, and others claim it is simply a modification of an existing Indian recipe. Either way, chicken tikka masala is one of the country's most iconic and best loved dishes. It consists of small pieces of chicken that have been marinated in spices and yogurt before being oven roasted and stirred into a tomato-based curry sauce. It's usually served with rice and naan, and is served in pretty much every single one of the UK's many Indian restaurants and takeaways. Also known as shepherd's pie, cottage pie basically consists of ground meat, such as beef or lamb, cooked in an onion gravy, topped with mashed potatoes, and baked in an oven. Often, it includes other ingredients such as peas or carrots, and if it doesn't, then you'll more than likely find them served on the side. Many British people will remember cottage pie as a staple school dinner, and you can also find it on the menu in most pubs. But anyone will tell you that the best cottage pie is always homemade. Named for the ultra-posh and highly controversial school from which it originated, Eton mess is a traditional dessert made up of strawberries, meringue, and whipped cream. Some recipes include other fruits such as raspberries and blackberries, but as long as you've got something fruity to play off against that cream and the crumbly meringue, you'll be just fine. This one is best enjoyed at the height of summer. Fish and chips is one of the world's most...
I was just waiting on that one, man. I was waiting on that one. What else is there to say about that, man? There's nothing left to say about fish and chips. There's nothing to say. It's amazing. It's amazing. It's one of my favorite things to eat, man. It's amazing.
British dishes, and
that's actually another reason why I would love to go to the UK. I heard you guys have the best fish and chips, especially in Whitby.
For good reason, too. It's basically fish fried in batter, served up with the thickly cut chips, usually doused in salt and vinegar, with a little ketchup or some mushy peas on the side. The fish itself is most often cod or haddock, but other kinds are occasionally used. Although you'll find fish and chips pretty much everywhere in the UK, proper seaside chippies almost always do it best. The fish is always freshly caught, the chips will be made just right, and the setting is invariably just right for the occasion. But short, this is the ultimate British culinary experience. Game pies are traditional English pastries that are best known for having become really quite over the top during the Victorian era. Although recipes for game pies have changed over the years, modern variations tend to contain meats such as venison, rabbit, pheasant, pigeon, or boar, and are...
One thing I would love to try, I have not tried yet, is venison. Like, people say it's good, but I never had it before. And I would love to try it. Do you guys have a lot of that in the UK? Tell me in the comments, please. Because here, it's kind of hard to find it here, honestly. Yeah, it's kind of hard to find it here, especially where I'm at right now.
With garlic, shallots or onions, bacon, pork, as well as a range of different herbs and spices. Unlike the Victorians, you needn't worry about birds stuffed within birds or crazy fancy pastry patterns. Simplicity is key here. Simplicity and a good ale, that is. The jam roly-poly is pretty much just a Swiss roll with a better name. It's a pudding made from suet dough, which is spread with jam and rolled up before baking. You'll sometimes find it dusted with sugar or served with cream, custard, or ice cream, but it's a nice enough treat no matter how you have it. Modern versions often use sponge cake like a Swiss roll rather than suet, partly because it's easier to get hold of, and partly because it's a little more palatable. Either way, it doesn't matter, just so long as it's bursting with fruit jam. Okay, yes, jellied eels might seem like something they'd serve you in hell, and well, yeah, they're really not that great.
What is it called? Jelly eels?
Might seem like something they'd serve you in hell, and well, yeah, they're really not that great. This dish is prepared by chopping up eels, boiling them in stock, then allowing it to cool and set into a jelly. Just to make things even better, they are also eaten cold.
How you guys feel about that? Is that something you guys like to eat? Tell me in the comments, please.
Jellied eels are slimy, salty, and totally gross too, but they have a genuinely fascinating past, and trying a bowl of them in a proper East End establishment really does feel like you're tasting history. A kipper is basically a split herring that has been pickled and smoked, and although they're eaten all over Europe, they're particularly popular in Britain. Nowadays, they're eaten as a breakfast food, although they're not quite as popular as they once were. So don't take them for granted if you do get hold of some. You might just be surprised how tasty they can be. It might be a shock to discover that the Knickerbocker glory comes from the same country as jellied eels and black pudding, but it's true.
Actually, that looks really good. That looks really good.
Once sold almost exclusively out of the country's many ice cream vans, Knickerbocker glories are basically elaborate ice cream sundaes, made up of vanilla ice cream, strawberries, whipped cream, syrup, sprinkles, and a wafer, all served in a tall glass. Sometimes they might include chopped nuts, more syrups, chocolate, or anything else any kid could ever want. And yes, they really do taste as good as they look.
They do look
The
good.
Battenberg is easily one of Britain's most visually striking.
One thing I can say though, this video has a lot of different stuff. Like I was hoping to see way more of the same stuff that I seen from the other video, but this video is different. It's different. So you guys really have a lot of options when it comes to food, man. That's amazing. That's amazing.
But it's definitely something of an acquired taste. The inner section is nice enough, being made up of a light sponge held together with jam. The outer layer, however, is made from marzipan, a thick fondant-like confection made up of sugar, honey, and almonds. Marzipan has got a genuinely unique flavor to it, but it's not for everyone. In fact, a 2019 survey found that it was one of the UK's most hated foods. Still, no one would blame you if you swapped it out for a little fondant instead.
Okay.
Funnily enough, mince pies really aren't what they sound like. Although they did indeed contain minced meat once upon a time, today they're a sweeter treat served exclusively at Christmas. The modern mince pie is a sweet pastry dusted with sugar, filled with a concoction of dried fruits and spices. They're pretty much bite-sized and are served in their millions every year. For many Brits, these things literally taste like Christmas. Thanks in part to the stratospheric rise of the fast food bakery chain Greggs, the humble pasty has become one of the UK's favorite lunch snacks. Originating in Cornwall, pasties are usually made by wrapping a filling in a pie-like pastry and
The pastry, I remember that one, because they were saying the history behind it was when the some people was working in some type of poisonous environment, something like that. Then they had to make the pastry. They had to make somewhere so they could hold it, so the poison would contaminate the food. You feel me? That's why they had to make that like this. I learned that from the other video, man. Yeah. Hopefully she explained it way more than I can.
them.
Way better.
Cornish pasties always contain beef, potato, swede, and onion, but countless.
And again, it's one of those things that's on my notes because it looked really good. I would love to try it.
Different variations exist, including chicken, pork, turkey, cheese, vegetables, and more. As with anything, for the best pasties, you'll need to go straight to the source, Cornwall. They don't get much better than that.
Oh, that's good.
Think of the Ploughmans as kind of like the British version of the charcuterie board. It's a spread of various foodstuffs, and different places will offer different variations. But the key ingredients are bread, cheese, and onions. You might also find salad, ham, hard-boiled eggs, apple, chutney, pickled eggs or onions, or any other similar cold ingredients.
Gotcha.
Ploughman's lunches are rather famous for being sold in pubs, having once been pretty much the only type of food they would agree to serve. As such, a proper Ploughman's is invariably served with a pint of beer. Another cold British classic is the pork pie, a small snack with a long-reaching history. The earliest mentions of something resembling the pork pie appear as far back as the 14th century, and the use of gelatin to preserve the meat inside was a staple method of medieval cooking. Nowadays, pork pies are often included as part of a Ploughman's, or eaten with a salad on the side. Arguably the best around is the Melton Mowbray pork pie, which is always hand-molded, made with uncured meat, and unlike other versions, uses pork that has been chopped rather than minced.
Gotcha.
They may not look like much, but they're one of Britain's most beloved snack foods. Scones, or as some denizens of the UK say it, scones, are a type of sweet or sometimes savory baked food made from wheat or oatmeal. Although they come in many varieties, the most famous use of scones in England is as part of cream tea, a traditional type of afternoon tea that has them served with clotted cream and jam. The pronunciation of the word is also a major point of contention amongst British people.
That literally looks like a biscuit. Like you probably go to Popeyes and get this biscuit. That's why that looks like to me.
A 2016 survey found that
But when you feel it like that, it looks amazing, man. It looks amazing. Cause I'm not the type of dude who go eat a biscuit just like that. That's not me. That's not my style. But you do this, you fill it up like that. I'll definitely eat that, man.
percent of Britons pronounce it to rhyme with gone, whereas 42% pronounce it to rhyme with bone. The former is a northern and Scottish thing, whereas the latter is a southern thing. For some reason, Brits take this debate very, very seriously indeed.
So, first question, scone, scone? What?
Scone.
Scone.
Well, if you're from Northern, it's scone, isn't it?
Scone. Scone it is. It's not scone, scone, it's scone.
The range in quality between good Scotch eggs and bad Scotch eggs is very wide indeed. That is to say that bad Scotch eggs are very bad indeed, and good Scotch eggs are nothing less than pure bliss. Scotch eggs are boiled eggs wrapped in sausage meat, coated in breadcrumbs and deep fried or baked. They're a favorite bar snack up and down the UK, but you'll also find lesser versions in British supermarkets. A good Scotch egg should have a thick lining of high-quality pork sausage meat, preferably well-flavored with herbs such as parsley and chives. The egg should be soft-boiled rather than hard-boiled, and when you cut or bite into it, the yolk should basically explode. This is one dish that's worth the extra effort. To most British people, the term Scouse will conjure images of Liverpool, where the inhabitants are colloquially known as Scousers. But they're called this for a reason. Scouse was originally a stew concocted by sailors, which first originated in Norway and spread to Liverpool, once Britain's foremost port. Although the city has changed a lot since its imperial heyday, the dish has remained, and is still served at cafes and restaurants across the city. This stew is usually lamb or beef based, and also contains onions, carrot, potatoes, cabbage, and pretty much any other leftover vegetable you have, although beetroot tends to be a particularly popular ingredient. Served up with some nice crusty bread, Scouse comes out on top as the best winter stew out there, and one of the UK's tastiest regional dishes, full stop. Stargazy pie is a truly peculiar dish, both in name and appearance. The term stargazy refers to the fact that the fish in the pie, usually pilchards or sardines, are facing outwards, with their heads sticking up through the crust. Aside from the fish, Stargazy pie can contain any number of different ingredients, including hard-boiled eggs, bacon, onion, mustard, herbs, wine, and more. And although it looks downright weird, it actually tastes pretty great. It's a rich, salty, and extremely filling dish that acts as an entire meal in one.
Okay.
The roast dinner is probably the ultimate British dish, typically eaten on a Sunday, and nowadays very popular in
Is that the same thing as the Sunday roast, or is different?
pubs. The typical roast is centered around one particular kind of roast meat. This can be anything from beef to pork to lamb to chicken, although game birds are occasionally used too. Accompanying the meat, you'll find any combination of roast potatoes, gravy, broccoli, green beans, cabbage, parsnips, swede, carrots, peas, and cauliflower cheese. Each different type of meat comes with its own additions too. Roast beef, for example, is served with Yorkshire pudding, mustard, or horseradish. Pork tends to come with applesauce, crackling, and stuffing. Lamb almost always sits alongside mint sauce, and chicken is accompanied by stuffing or cranberry sauce. Arguably, the best roast dinner experience involves a pub, friends or family, and a lot of beer and wine. But nothing beats a homemade Sunday roast either, and the scope for customization is practically unlimited.
Gotcha.
Toad in the hole is a little less gross than it sounds, mostly because it doesn't involve any actual toads. Instead, the toads are sausages.
That looks amazing. That looks amazing. That looks amazing. I would love to try that.
While the whole refers to a single giant Yorkshire pudding, usually served with gravy and vegetables. This dish is a kind of middle ground between the roast dinner and bangers and mash. Unfortunately, toad in the hole is far harder to find than either of those dishes, but it's more than worth a go if you can, especially if you love a good Yorkshire pudding. As you may have learned on a certain 90s sitcom, Trifle is an English dessert made up of sponge fingers, fruit, jelly, custard, whipped cream, and decidedly not beef sautéed with peas and onions. A good trifle feels like heaven in a bowl. A great trifle, which contains the traditional alcoholic element, such as port, sherry, or Madeira wine, is one of the best desserts out there, full stop. Every layer works together in perfect harmony, making for both a visual and literal feast for the senses. There's ample opportunity for experimentation here too, as pretty much anything that's sweet is bound to prove most welcome in whatever recipe you decide to use. Referred to on the Great British Bake Off as the nation's favorite cake, Victoria sponge cake is kind of like a sweet, sugary sandwich, in which a filling of jam and cream sits between two thick layers of light frosted sponge. It's not a hugely common menu item in British restaurants or pubs, but the Victoria sponge cake is a favorite for home bakers, and almost every Brit has turned their hand to it at least once before. Luckily, it's a cinch to make, and more—
this looks amazing. This looks amazing. I would love to try that. Look at it. I feel like it has a lot of flavor, and I would love to try that, man.
than worth the effort too. Check out one of our newest videos right—
Thank you guys for watching this video with me, man. I appreciate it. This video actually had a lot of different type of food than the other one we watched, which is good. Apparently, I mean, this one didn't even show the spicy lamb sausage roll, man. They didn't have that on here, so hey, so they had a lot of different ones though. So, but this video was good. This video was good. I liked it. Yeah, thank you guys for watching with me. I appreciate it. Continue to like, continue to subscribe. Yeah, man, tell me in the comments what you guys would like to see. Whatever video you guys would like me to react to, just put in the comments, and I would love to react to it. I would love to do it. Yeah, so thank you again for watching with me. I'll catch you on the next one. Bye bye.